Here we are, day 3 of the quilt project, the vintage quilt project that I've been working on. Now, when I took this quilt out of the box that I purchased from the yard sale, if you watched the first video, that makes sense. These pieces were already sewn together. So this section is about a yard, you know, when you put the fabric to your nose and stretch your arm out to the end, that's about a yard. So about a yard and a little more than almost a yard both ways was all sewn together. So when I laid this out on the bed the other night, I laid out the big pieces first that were already sewn together, and then I put the blocks in an arrangement of how I think they should end up. So then these big pieces were also sewn together, but they're about 18 inches square. Wouldn't those make gorgeous pillows to throw on the sofa for fall? That would be pretty. Well, I need them in this project, so I'm going to keep going. So today, on my 10 minutes, I could not wait to find 10 minutes to do this. So on my 10 minutes today, I'm going to sew these 3 pieces together, these 3 big ones, and then they should end up being the size of this one that was already sewn together when I got it out of the box. And these were such a muddled mess in the box. They were wrinkled, they were just crammed in there. So I washed them and I ironed them, and they have been so nice to work with. Vintage cotton just has a different feel to it. Oh, I just love vintage cotton. And I can tell that some of these pieces of fabric aren't as old as others. So I would say that whoever was working on this quilt was either working on it across several years, several years, maybe a couple decades, or the other possibility is that they were working from a box of scrap fabric that spanned several years. A seamstress who just continued to put the scraps from her sewing project in one place so that the some fabric was just older than the other. So I just noticed that I said so that. So that. Have you ever listened to yourself after you've made a video like this? Trust me, making videos is the ultimate discipline in humility. You hear everything you say wrong, and every silly expression. And this is raw, this is real, this is unedited Rachel. What you see is what you get right here. Anyway, going back to so that. Oh, one night I was working on something and listening to one of the videos, and I think I said so that about 3 or 4 times. So I'm trying to learn to not say so that. You needed to know that, didn't you? Oh my goodness, you guys. If there's a project that you've been putting off, maybe it's cleaning your garage, maybe it's weeding your flower bed, maybe it's cleaning out the junk drawer in the kitchen. Does everybody have a junk drawer? I've heard it said that everybody has a junk drawer. So maybe it's cleaning out the junk drawer. Just give yourself 10 minutes. There is so much power in 10 minutes. Okay, so now I've got all three of these sewn together, and let's see if the one that was, so this one, this one wasn't sewn together the same way. I just sewed this one together. But you know what? We're not going to overthink this. We're just going to keep going. Just keep on going. What I need to do is take this home again and lay it out on the bed so you can see in one big piece the hodgepodge of pieces. But I think I'm getting close to my 10 minutes here. So, okay. So now this one, yeah, this is the one I just now sewed 3 big, about 18 by 18 squares, 18 inch by 18 inch squares together. This one. This is the one I just now sewed together. Look at those happy colors. This is the one that was already sewn together when I bought the box for $1. Now, I am going to attach these two pieces together. They are not the same length. They do not match. And I do not care because I'm having fun getting this done, and it's going to be a happy kaleidoscope of color. That's what I keep telling myself. Just keep going. So I'm going to sew these together, and oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So this is where this one stops, and it keeps right on going down. This is where this one stops, and it keeps going. But what I am doing, just so if you work on something like this, since I know that I'm going to need to attach another piece onto here, I'm not sewing all the way to the end. I'm leaving a little tab open at the end to attach, and then I'll need to close up all those seams when I assemble it all together, the big piece. So I always push this button right here. It's a reverse stitch. So it reverses the stitch and goes forward. It kind of locks the seam in place. There's a lot of these kind of stray threads like this that are in the middle of this. Oh, look how happy that is. And see how this right here does not match together? So I'm just adjusting it. I'm just pulling this over a little bit, and that goes out farther. It doesn't match, but I'm just making it as straight as I can so that the seams all catch, and it's going to be just fine. So let me tell you this too. Whoever was stitching this together was doing it with just a needle and thread, not a sewing machine. It means they were stitching by hand. When you hear that term, stitching by hand, they were just using a needle and thread. And see, you can kind of see those stitches. And people who really are quilt connoisseurs, I'll call it, love hand-stitched quilts. And so do I. There's just something fabulous about that fact that somebody could sit with such patience and put so many pieces together. But that's not my season of life, and I want to finish this project. And so it's okay that I'm not hand stitching this. See this right here where this is wider? So I'm just lining it up so that I make sure I don't miss any of the pieces. And I'm just, like I said, making my stitches, my seam, as straight as I can so that I line all that up and I don't leave any holes or gaps where the blocks are sewn together. I'm almost to the end here. Okay, now I'm going to push this button and I'm going to lock my seam stitch right there. Now, I will see if I can get my, I don't know if I can get this to zoom in. So, I can't. Let me just do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to raise my presser foot. The presser foot is what holds your fabric while you sew. And machines come with different types of presser foots. This is a presser foot. It's a little clip that is on a lever and it holds the fabric down while you sew. So, can you see this right here? The needle goes up and down through this hole right here. This is holding the fabric down like this, and so the needle is going up and down through that hole. My seam is this width. I have this along the edge of my fabric, and the needle is here in the middle, so my seam is the width of this little plastic. That's the width of my seam, and that's about the width of the person who was hand stitching this before I got it. Don't you think about that person so much? It was probably either a young girl, teenager, or a grandma. I like to think that. And I wonder why it was never finished. I wonder that. Okay, you guys, my 10 minutes is probably up. And I got another huge piece. This would probably almost cover half of the bed. So I have these pieces still to do. Some of them I've sewn together, and some of them were sewn together in the box. So we'll just keep going and we'll see what we get done tomorrow.